What's up everyone, it's day 58 of walking around Ireland. I'm just leaving Derry City here. I've been here for 4 nights. It was very busy during that time. Ended up not getting the work done that I wanted to get done, but I did get to check out my travel plans for the next year and kind of map out what I want to do, where I want to go. So that was pretty cool. I really haven't been able to do that since the start of the trip. And also I did 5 radio interviews and did quite a bit of outreach too, just trying to raise awareness for what I do, which I have to do if I want to maintain the sponsorship that I have, right? So all is good. Had a good rest while I was here, and I'm now gonna head. What way am I gonna head? Believe it or not, I have to make a decision within the next 2 miles. I actually don't know what way I'm gonna go yet. I think I'm gonna go up towards the Greencastle ferry. But anyway, head good, body good, feet good, all good. Let's go. I got up and left pretty early this morning. The main reason was because I wanted to get into McDonald's, where I'm headed now, on the edge of the city, early, because it's super quiet then. They have coffee somewhere nice and warm to sit. And one of my guilty pleasures every now and again is a McMuffin. I don't always like eating them, but every now and again, yeah. This is exactly what I mean about not knowing where I'm going to end up every day. I was on my way to get the ferry in Greencastle today to take me up to the north, up near the Antrim coast. But I've just turned off the main road here and I've decided to do a U-turn, to go back into Donegal and to take you on a journey. And this is for myself now, to be honest, not so much for the viewers, but I want to show where this all began and tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. This is going to be super interesting. Inishowen Peninsula. Let's go. 5 years ago from now, I set out to become an adventurer, and I decided to walk the wild Atlantic way, much the way that I am right now, with my backpack, with my tent, my camping supplies and so on. The thing is, I began at Malin Head, which is north of here on the Inishowen Peninsula, and on the first night I bottled it trying to find a campsite, and I went in to stay in a local guest house. On the second day it rained all day. I went up over the mountains, climbed up over Mamore Gap, and I ended up camping on Dunree Beach. Now, when I was trying to put up the tent, the waterproof cover blew off my bag. Everything I owned got wet, and I only realised when I got inside the tent. That included my sleeping bag. So long story short, I slept naked with an emergency blanket wrapped around me, and the next day I went home with my tail between my legs, so disillusioned and disappointed with my effort. In my eyes at the time, it was a massive failure. And I know people say there's no such thing as failure, but that's very hard to believe when you're in the midst of one yourself. So that down there is Derry City, and that's the direction I'm supposed to be going, up toward, in the direction of the Giant's Causeway, up around there. But of course I'm walking the complete opposite direction now. She's a good girl. Loves her mom. It's a ham and cheese jambon. Pretty good. It's definitely colder the last couple of weeks. I can feel it in the morning especially, but up here in the mountain too. It should be colder up here, but I can feel it's colder than it was last month. The one thing that's just amazing, and has been amazing since I've come into Donegal, what was that, about 3 weeks ago, is that the weather has been clear. There's only been a few days of rain, whereas before that, for the entire month of August and I think first half of September, it rained every day. So that got a little bit boring, you know. This has definitely been the respite I needed. There's clear days where not only can I see the landscape, but I'm dry and I'm not looking to dry my gear every turn. One of the main things that I noticed, one of the main differences I noticed between now and back when I started taking these trips, is that the distance I can do now is much greater, and that simplifies a lot. And that might seem like a very obvious thing to say, but it's very important, because what I mean is, when I started taking these trips, like when I started walking from Malin Head 5 years ago, it never crossed my mind that I would be able to walk 20 kilometers if I tried. And the reason for that was because, number one, self-limiting beliefs, but also it just seemed like who walks 20 kilometers in a day, you know? Whereas now it's second nature, and you know, even carrying this bag is second nature. The reason that's so important on a trip like this is because sometimes you have to walk that distance to find somewhere to camp, and that was exactly the problem I had up here the last time. I'd walked in search of a campsite for 10 kilometers. Because I didn't see anything, I felt like I was doomed. There was nothing I could do other than fold and cancel my trip. Wow, that was really great. Ethel Grant, who's been following my page for years, following all my trips for years now, lived in the town on the other side of the mountain, and she recognised the area in the background of one of my videos. I'm just looking back at the cow here, shouting at me for whatever reason. She recognised the area that was in the background of my video earlier on today. She drove up, gave me a packed lunch, and we had a lovely chat at the side of the road. It's so awesome to meet people that have been following me and supporting me, more importantly, since I set out on this journey, you know. It means an awful lot to me. Thank you, Ethel, for coming up to see me. This is Buncrana here. The interesting thing is, last week I was going to get the ferry from over here to here, which means that I could have been like 8 days ahead of where I am right now, and not back to, kind of feels like I'm back where I started over a week ago now. Well, it does and it doesn't. I'm not really thinking about it at all, but if I was to think about it that way, I'd certainly feel like I was going nowhere fast. Nice little town this. Every time I pass through a little town like this in Ireland, I want to stay. I don't want to leave it. But not only can I not afford it, the show must go on. Exactly what I love about this trip. Busy area, underneath the bridge, you can't hear anything except for the noise of the water. But such a beautiful little place to come and discover that you would never find if you were in a car. Hello? Yeah. It's okay. We can be friends. We can be friends, it's okay. Jeez, you're much taller than me, aren't you? You okay? Honestly, I don't remember walking down this road, but I did when I finished camping and I cancelled that trip that I tried to take in the Wild Atlantic Way. I had to walk down this road to catch the bus to where I was going, and then just figure out what the hell I was going to do with my life. I was embarrassed. I wouldn't say ashamed, but I was embarrassed. I was feeling very inadequate. That's probably the best way of putting it. And I wanted to get somewhere safe and dry and just try and make sense of what had happened, because it was very disappointing. to feel that way. I wasn't sure completely if this was the place or not. I am now. This is so surreal walking down here, because I remember this vividly now. The first time I was so worried coming down here. It was in the lashings of rain. It was just getting dark at the time. I was scared shitless. So happy that happened. I was thinking on the way here, I try not to think about this because it's not very optimistic. I was thinking on the way here, it's going to start raining before I get to put my tent up, so I'm going to get wet at the very end of the day. But it didn't. I put the tent up, and as soon as I sat inside, this started. So I'm so happy about that. Right now I'm making I had a chicken and mushroom pie that I picked up in Buncrana, but I also have a pot noodle here that I'm going to have, and then maybe I'll have some crisps, a wagon wheel, read my book, go to sleep. What a great day. I'm so happy that it didn't rain on me. I'm so happy about that.